back to my channel. If you're new here, hi. I go by Eternal Honesty on this channel, and I typically post content every Monday. It varies all over the place, guys. So if you're still here and you're a subscriber, thank you guys for the support. As you guys saw from the title, today I'm going to be talking about locks. And if you guys are new, I recently made the decision last year in November to lock my hair. So I believe it was like November 6th was the day I locked my hair. So we're coming up on 7 months of my hair being locked. And I want to talk about, some of the pros and cons that I feel are what they are when it comes to locks. And I did make a list, so let me get my list. And I'll tell you guys about my locks in particular just so we understand where I'm coming from. So I started off with comb coils. And if you are familiar with locks, there are different ways you can start off. You can start off with comb coils like I did. People start off with twists, like mini twists, mini braids. You can just go straight and do like an interlocking method. So you're just taking like a needle and you're locking the hair together. Some people do attachment, so they will attach on locks to their hair and just do that way. Some people do freeform. There's a lot of different starter method. If you guys want a video on the different methods as to how you can start your locks, that'll be like a lot more in depth and detail with like pictures and stuff. Let me know down below and I can make a video on that. Like I said, for me, I started off with comb coils, and then that was in November. Then I went to Jamaica in December, and my cousin, she more interlocked them with for me using like a crochet needle. So they seemed a bit more locked now, only for that reason. Like that kind of expedited the whole process of them like locking because she manually did that for just about all the locks. She also did combine some of the locks I have already because she felt like they were too small. Granted, I didn't think they were too small, but she did that, and I was like, I kind of felt some type of way, but I couldn't at the same time really say anything just because I was like, I needed to get my hair done like for a wedding, and like she was the only person who could do it. So I was just like, let's not rock the boat when you do need this person to really do your head. So that happened. That's the reason why my locks do seem like a lot more like just like mature than they would if I just did the comb coils and waited out the process. I do love how my locks look, and this is a question that a lot of people typically want to know is like, how many locks do you have? And I finally sat down and counted them. Like more recently, I have 84 locks, and honestly, it sounds like a small number, but when my hair isn't like done like a fresh retwist, it's very full and very fluffy, and I really like it. I also do, for the most part, like the sizing of my locks. I would want them to be like a little bit smaller if I can, like, go back. Like I said, some of them did get combined, so that could be part of the reason why some of them are bigger than others. But overall, I do like the sizing of them, and they probably will get a little bit bigger as they continue to mature. So I'm not mad at that. Now, I do want to get into the list of my pros and cons. So we're going to start off with the good stuff, obviously. So the biggest pro, especially for me, because I do not like doing my hair, I hate it sometimes, is the fact that it's very low maintenance. All I did this morning was take off my headscarf because I do sleep with a headscarf or like a bonnet. Sometimes both, because sometimes the headscarf or just the bonnet will come off during the night. So I like to sometimes do both. So just take that off, literally put this headband on. That's it. I didn't have to do anything to my hair other than that. Some people, they like to like mist their hair with like a specific like water and oil like every day, or once every week. I don't even really do that, guys. Like when I'm in the shower, the steam already is getting like my hair like misted. So outside of that, for like moisturize my hair, I don't, and my locks are doing well. Like my hair isn't crazy dry or anything like that. So I don't feel the need to have an extensive like process when it comes to taking care of it. I do make sure I wash my hair. You still do have to wash your hair, but I don't use conditioner because that will lead to like a lot of product buildup, especially like I have very fine hair. If I were to use conditioner, it will cause my locks to like kind of like more separate, and I don't want that. I want it to lock up, so I don't want to put anything too heavy on the locks because it's going to lead to product buildup, and I also don't want to really use products that's not meant for locks and that will cause them to like unravel, because that's something I experienced early on, was some unraveling because I wasn't correctly maintaining, and I felt like over moisturizing was causing my locks to unravel at the beginning when I was doing a lot to it, and I was like, this is not necessary for me, so I stopped doing that. The second thing I will say is less hair products. I don't need to be buying a whole cart full of products for my hair. Like I said, I barely do anything for my hair currently to help maintain it. I just make sure I'm oiling my scalp because you want to make sure you have a good, healthy scalp to promote hair growth, and that's always going to be important. I obviously wash my hair like I try to wash my hair every week unless I have any style. Like in the picture, I had like the bob, right? The like the lock bob with the two strands. With that, I didn't wash my hair. I don't think I had that in for about a month, and I didn't wash my hair, which is kind of gross, but like, yeah. But now that it's out, I do wash my hair once a week, and I need to wash it tomorrow actually. So very like, less hair products that you need to use. Really, I'm only using like 2 3 products for my hair right now. Compared to before, I would be buying gels, creams, moisturizer, shampoo, conditioner, deep like a mask, all of that. I just don't think you need it. If you want to do a lot for your hair, you feel like you required it, that's for you. But everyone is kind of different sometimes with that. Third one is the fact that I can just wake up and go. Like I said, just wake up, shake my hair, fluff it out, and I'm good to go. And honestly, you can still see like my hair. I have a lot of my curly ends still, so it looks as if I have like a fresh like wash and go, or like I did some finger coils in my hair, literally, and I did nothing. I just woke up and go. Very nice and easy. I love that. And my next thing is like it's very versatile. I don't care what people have to say. Like some people it's like locks are boring, you can only have locks and that's it. You can still put on a wig if you want, like just as you would over your natural hair. I've actually worn wigs over my locks so far, and now that they're short too, it's definitely a lot easier for me to do that. When it gets longer, it's a little bit trickier, but it's still possible. I've seen people do it, and we see Chloe and Holly Bailey. They are the queen of showing us as to how versatile locks can be, and you can still do so much style. I did the lock bob with the two strands. I'm planning to either do like braids over them for a trip I have coming up, or just doing long twists with like the boho, like island twist, I think some people call it, something like that. I also saw another style of doing just like, half of it like flat twists, and then the back just like regular two-strand twists. Like, there are styles. You just need to get creative. I've seen people do like bantu knots, which is like that's something a lot of people do with their like loose natural hair. So there's so many styles out there. You just need to be very creative in how you choose to do your locks, or just go to someone who can do the styles for you. I'm blessed that I have my sister to help me do my hair. And The next one is locks are very unique. Your locks are going to be so unique. It's not going to look like other people. Even if you started off the same way, even if you have the same amount of locks as the next person, it's always going to be unique to you because it's going to be based off of your hair texture, your hair density. All of that is going to make your locks look different, right? And even the locks on your own head are going to be different. They're not all going to be the same. They're going to vary in like the size, like some are skinnier than others. Sometimes even the length. Like look at my hair right now. Like you see all kinds of length. And that's just also how my hair was cut before doing the locks. It wasn't all one length. So like that, the way like it crinkles and curls and bends, that's gonna be different, like on your own head. And the last one for the pros, which I can probably say a lot of other good things about locks and my locks in particular, is that it helps with length retention. For me personally, that was one of the things that made me really want to get locks is length retention. I have very fine hair, and if you're somewhat very fine hair, you know your hair breaks very easily. I felt like locking my hair because now they're not as skinny, like it will help prevent them from breaking off as much. So length retention is definitely something that a lot of people talk about with locks. Like you see people who with their loose natural hair wasn't their length retention was not that great. It's not that their hair can't grow because my hair grows very fast. I usually cut it or it breaks off easily. So it's not that the hair doesn't grow, it's that the length is not being retained, is why some people have issues with getting long hair. That should always be your goal. Like it's one, making sure your hair actually is growing, so your scalp health, and then two, that you're able to retain the length. Because if you're not able to retain length, it doesn't matter how much your hair grows, your hair is going to always keep breaking off, and that's not fun. Now, for the cons, right? My first con is that it can be expensive, like one to start. Some people want sister locks. Sister locks are very, very small, or micro locks. To get those installed and to start them off, I've heard prices of like $2,000, definitely like over $1,000 easily for sister and micro locks. So that can be very expensive. Also, the maintenance of that, if you're going to someone and not doing it yourself, that can also be pricey. Or even if you don't have like micro, you just have like more like a small or my type of size locks, it can be expensive to get retwists if you're not doing it yourself or you know someone personally. In my case, my sister does my retwist for me, so I don't have to pay to do that. So, like for me, it is an inexpensive thing to have, but for others, that can be something to consider. How much is it going to cost you to get your hair like maintenance? Granted, you wouldn't have to go as often, but that's still something you should consider is, do you really want to get sister locks, because the cost of maintaining that might be a bit pricey and out of your budget. Which that's sad that it's like that, but that's just the industry. um Another con is, I haven't experienced this, but I've heard a lot of people talk about this, is becoming tender-headed, or more tender-headed if you already are tender-headed. Because the way, you're twisting at the very root of the hair, or they're taking the needle and they're pulling it through at the root of the hair, depending on the way you maintenance and, you know, maintenance your locks. So that can cause some tension when you do that. But the one thing I would say is, if you don't get your hair retighten, retwist as much, that helps. But some people say like they do become tender headed. I've only have like one or two spots on my head that's kind of tender, but overall, I don't think that's not been an issue for me. Like nothing has changed. The next thing is, once again, I have not experienced this, but I hear it every time I'm on TikTok, is people complaining about lint buildup or getting lint in your locks. There are ways to help prevent this. Like I said before, sleeping with a headscarf or a bonnet, and just making sure your hair, your locks, are not like rubbing on your pillows, especially if you don't have like satin pillows, you have like cotton pillows, like, things that are going to cause lint to build up in your locks. So just being mindful as to not leaving your hair uncovered while you're sleeping, which will help prevent the lint buildup, and also doing detox. Like I said, I haven't have any lint and it's been almost 7 months. I also don't use a lot of products, which does help with preventing the buildup. So if you are someone you don't want a lot of buildup, try not using too much products on your hair, because the products you're using, that's kind of what is allowing the lint to stick to your locks, right? So it's working kind of like as an adhesive for the lint. And the last con I have here is the length of your retwist or retie sessions. These can vary, right? The more locks you have, obviously, is going to take more time. For me, my sister has been able to get it down to about like 3 hours. I want to say maybe like 4 hours, like somewhere around that. So not that, to some people's a lot of time, but think about getting braids. When you go to get braids, braids can take up to way more time than that. Like I've gone to the salon to get braids and I'm there like 6 hours, 8 hours, right? Like it's gonna take a really long time to do braids or to get braids. And once again, the length of your retwist also is going to be related to how much locks you have, because you have to do each individual lock. And also, are you doing a style? Because if you're also doing a style, that's more time. This will vary from person to person completely. And if you are doing it yourself, you might not care as much, because you can do retwist your hair, retie your hair across multiple sessions. So that's also something to think about. If you're going to have someone do it, that's going to be a good part of your day that you're probably going to have to like set aside to getting your hair done. Most people already do that, so that shouldn't really be like, oh my gosh, like I have to set aside 4 hours of my day to get my hair done. If you're going to get a wig install, that takes time. If you're going to get braids, you already know you probably going to be in that salon all day, so you should just cancel your plans from now, right? So think of the same thing with locks, like, but one thing I do like about when I get my retwist, I literally do not have to worry about my hair for a really long time. And I like when the hair starts getting messy personally. Like I'm one of those people, like I don't mind when my hair starts getting messy or my retwist gets old, because I do like when the fluff is out. Like now, like you definitely see like my roots are definitely like fluffed out. And I don't mind that. I like to see the volume of the hair. But those are just my quick cons and my pros. I definitely think the good outweighs the bad. Like I said, I'm a little biased because I don't have to pay to get my hair done. So if you're someone who do have to pay, and let me know how much it costs, because I'm curious. I don't pay, so I don't know exact prices, but let me know how much you guys pay for a retwist down below. As always, I thank you guys for watching my video. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.